Welcome back to For the Mamas Collective Podcast, a space where we believe in the power of connection and shared experiences.
Hi, I'm Danielle.
And I'm Jaleesa. We're so thrilled to have you back for season 2, episode 23.
This podcast has been such a gift for both of us because as moms, we know how much connection, community, and a space to feel seen and heard really matter.
For the Mamas Collective is all about creating that space, a warm, welcoming environment where mothers from all walks of life can come together to share stories, explore the highs and lows, and celebrate the journey of motherhood.
Last week, we talked about how past relationships can sneak into our marriages and current relationships. And today, we're expanding that conversation into another core relationship in our lives friendships.
Yeah, because just like marriage, friendships are deeply shaped by what came before. Old wounds, past betrayals, even childhood experiences of belonging or not belonging can all show up in how we connect with friends now.
Absolutely. But before we dive into that, let's do our Rose and Thorn check in. Jaleesa, what's been your Rose and Thorn this week?
I'll say like just kind of getting into the groove. I can see my routine developing. That's my rose is I can at least get 10 minutes of yoga in and I fell off a little bit. So that's giving me some space to be a little more creative, think about myself, my endeavors that I want to get into. That was my thorn last time, right? Is that,
Mm.
my space is crowded and so with the kids being in school, that gives me a little more time to do that, and I can think without having all 50 million of my hats on at once. um,
I hear you.
I'm trying to think of my thorn. I don't really have a thorn. I want them 10 minutes of yoga to make me lose 10 pounds. That's my thorn is that, I haven't experienced that type of magic yet.
Oh, you and me both. If I could translate like a minute of exercise into a pound of weight loss, I mean, I take a half pound, quarter pound. I just
Okay.
need like a guarantee that
Yes.
something's gonna fall off these bones.
Yeah.
I would do it. I would do the math and I'd get right to it. Ain't nothing like working out and not seeing progress. Ugh,
Yes.
that will forever
Yes.
be a thorn. It's a permanent thorn.
That's a permanent thorn. It's like I got some strength and some muscles underneath some stuff I don't want.
Mhm. Yeah, these few layers of you
Yeah.
know,
Hibernation.
thickness.
Yeah. Yeah. Well equipped for hibernation. Oh man.
Oh
But what about
goodness.
you? What's some
This,
roses you can
yeah.
have?
So I will say my rose is kind of similar to yours, just about the kids being in school.
Mm-hmm.
Chase came home last week and like he had this thing. He's like, Mom, I want to be a car rider a couple of days. And I'm like, okay, you're so fancy. And so I pick him up and he gets in the car and he's just like a mile a minute. He's like, oh my God, Mom, I had the best day at school ever. And we did this and we did that. Mom, we were playing and I was like, slow down. And so like they're like school, I think their mascot or like their I don't know, they're like explorers is the name. So they do these
Mm.
expeditions. And
Mm.
so it was expedition day and they had like a scientist come in and they made clouds and they were
Oh,
dancing in the clouds and
wow.
doing things. And yeah, it was very it was just fun for him. But again, third grade, he was like, I had the best day ever in school. And I was like, okay, so that was exciting for me because this is coming from a kid who doesn't really care for school.
Yeah.
Math is the only subject he enjoys, and that's all he ever wants to talk about. So to hear him get excited about science and just being there with
Mm.
his classmates was really nice. And
Nice.
yeah, which I mean, that's beautiful because my thorn, and I have two. One, Ari is in like full blown toddler mode. I
Mm.
cannot. She's at the point where like she doesn't want to do anything,
Oh,
and she's
yeah.
very opinionated, and she's got all these new words and phrases. And
Mhm.
so her favorites for me right now are wait a minute, and hurry up.
Uh-uh.
What else is she? She has come on
Mm.
and I got it. I already got it. I'm like, okay, so yeah, that's a thorn because
Yeah.
this fierce independence doesn't really come with the skill or coordination,
Yeah.
that she needs to navigate this world. So
Yeah.
exercising the utmost patience. And then I don't know, on Friday was driving and like, the lights on the dashboard, there's all these lights. Like the yellow ones,
Mm.
they're clearly, warnings, and the red ones are like, serious signs. So I had this red light come on and I was like, oh God. And then I deep dive into Google and I'm like, okay, well, I guess I shouldn't drive it. I'm gonna lock my
Mm.
engine up. What do we do? So now my car's in the shop and
Mm.
$1,200 later, I'll get it back. But,
Oh boy.
just, yeah, the unexpectedness of adulting, of an oil
Yeah.
leak out of nowhere.
Oh
So
my
I'm
gosh.
furious about that. But that is my thorn. And also, it's like Labor Day weekend and I don't have a car.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's beautiful outside, but everything I want to do, I got to be like, hey, Trey, you want to
Mhm.
come or do you have something to do? Can I use your car?
Yeah.
Because like I'm not about to get in an Uber and go everywhere.
Oh yeah.
So it's just kind of a thorn because I'm trying to be in the streets this weekend. But
Unexpected inconvenience.
mhm, the most.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. Friendships are beautiful, but
Mhm.
they're also in many ways complicated.
Yes.
I've noticed personally that sometimes when I'm struggling in friendship today, it's really tied to something from the past.
Same. It's usually not ever the person, right? It's
Hmm.
self. And I might catch myself react like me. Yeah, that's me, like a big reaction, and no one knows I'm having it. It's just like an internal thing where I'm just like, let me bite my tongue. I really need to sit with this and process it. And then later on, I realize it's because of something, maybe about something that's reminded me of an old friendship wound, or just the way your insecurities get triggered. So being left out, I don't know if I was left out as much, but for me, my trigger is kind of like I didn't realize this, but like I really wanted people to like me when I
Hmm.
was really young. Like and I don't know where that came from, but so sometimes my mind will go there, like, oh, you said that was so dumb, they're not gonna like you. I was like, girl, or just just thing we've been through. We gonna get into high school because yeah, OPRF was something. So yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I agree because sometimes it makes me think like, am I reacting to this moment or is it, something bigger, right? Like,
Mhm.
where have I felt this way before? And
Right.
is that what's resurfacing at this time?
Right.
So,
Yeah, and that's really a big one, right? The idea that it could be anything. And for me as a
hmm,
therapist, I'm always thinking about attachment style and
yes.
how that impacts the relationships, right? Overall. So it might not be that you had negativity and friendship experience, but just how you're showing up because of your attachment style impacts
Hmm.
how you perceive another person's behaviors and actions. And sometimes you just don't even know it. And again, like we said last time, those old stories, sometimes they get real loud.
Mm, yeah. And if I can add this, I think it's no secret that my core friendships are deeply rooted, like,
Yeah.
decades long. And so
Yeah.
at this stage in life where I'm meeting new friends and
Mhm.
mothers alike and neighbors, I it's the comparing, right? Where it's just like,
Mhm.
okay, I'm feeling this and like I want to feel X, but I'm getting Y. And I know personally that it's not fair for me to hold those relationships to the same
Right.
expectations.
Right.
Um, but again, it's my subconscious doing it.
Mhm. Yeah. And I think to what you said, like making friends now in
Hmm.
your 30s is crazy. It takes so much work,
Yeah.
and and for me sometimes I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I don't want to put in the work." But you have to, and this is a part of the work is kind of settling with self, like, all right, it's this new relationship really isn't that hard. It's some old stuff coming up. And building a
Hmm.
new relationship bring up old insecurities that you're like, I haven't felt this way in forever because all of my friends have been my friends for 20 plus years now.
Right,
So it's
right.
like I haven't felt this way. I'm not somebody that got a bunch of weirdos around me. So that's never going to be the case. Like I don't have friendship drama. Haven't in a really, really
Right.
long time. So I think that adds pressure to it because the people you're building with now, for better or for worse, they're going to be in your life, right? Like I'm choosing you as an adult woman to
Mhm.
be in many seasons of my life, and I want it to go right. And then that
Right.
that pressure creates, I think, access to those insecurities to come up.
Yeah. Yep. I have to agree because it's so. I mean, you grow with people and you
Yeah.
see it. And it's like I want you to know me and know me authentically,
Yeah.
but there's so much about my past that has shaped who I am that it's
Mhm.
almost like either we start from ground zero and we only build from there, or we take time to, really dig in and go
Yeah.
back. But even still, it's like you weren't there to watch me grow and change, and I'm not
Mhm.
who I was. So you're like you don't get the full effect, but then like I feel like you can still feel it. I'm very
Yeah.
much like an energy person, you know
Mhm.
that. So
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
feel like you can still feel it, and that can be heavy sometimes.
Yeah.
But you know how we like to do. So
Oh
let's
yeah.
let's see. We got some questions.
Ooh. Yeah. Okay. Let's get into it.
All right. So first question, have you ever noticed yourself overreacting in a friendship and realized only later it wasn't really about that friend?
Mm. Overreacting. Yeah. 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 Y'all don't know. I be getting pissed off about stuff and I just keep it to myself. I keep it
Mhm.
to myself, but I'll just be like, I'll go down a rabbit hole, like, why this? And I'm like, it's not necessarily that. It's again, to me, it's attachment. When I start to feel
Yeah.
like I need to protect myself, the leading emotion is pissed off. Like this
Yeah.
joker didn't piss me off. And it's like, well, you can't just be pissed off. It got to be something. So like I said, I don't know if it's anything anybody has ever sensed. But I just be like, and poor Rob, he has to just be like, yeah, well, we're reacting. You be you be really annoyed. What are you gonna do? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just pissed right now. And then I come around like it's really not even that deep. Because again, like I said, no one around me is weird and doing anything wrong or malice. And like I know that energy isn't that. I think for me at this stage, I've had to realize that everybody has so much going on in their life. And then if I ask for help or I extend myself or I'm vulnerable, that is so raw for me. and
Oh yeah.
and I don't know if I have an expectation of that person or not, but I think when it feels like I was dismissed or it wasn't caught by the other person, the way I threw it, now I'm pissed
Mhm.
because
Right.
you should know that I finally opened up and you didn't catch it, or you
Yep.
made it about yourself, and I have a hard time with that. Please don't make this about you. I'm the pillar, I'm the strength for everybody. So if I finally say I'm letting something off, I'm stressed, I'm sad, I'm mad, and then we start talking about something else, then I get pissed off about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's not them. That's not them because I know how we as women communicate, especially Black women. We go into storytelling to exchange understanding and compassion, but it might come out as another story. And
Right.
then my maturity has had to lead me there, but I will be fuming inside until I get myself together.
Oh goodness. And I couldn't agree with you more. I think for me in that scenario, it comes off in two ways. So it's no secret that I am an anxious person.
Mm,
That is my attachment style. I have some very secure friendships and relationships. However, I'm naturally anxious. And
mhm,
until I really sat and dealt with that, I saw it so much because
mm,
I crave control. Like that's one thing
mhm,
that I can do to, tame my anxiety. And
mhm.
so when you come in and we start talking and like it feels like we're in agreement, what girl, what's the word?
I think it is
Agreement?
agreeance.
Okay,
Mhm.
agreement. And then like things change
Yeah.
and it's kind of like short notice, last minute.
Mhm.
For me, I'm like, oh, okay, strike one.
Right.
And I get to counting. And then I'm like, no, Danielle, like you are better than that. And I have to go
Yeah.
back to the work that I've done because also as being an anxious individual, I found myself as a people pleaser. So only when
Mhm.
I started learning how to set boundaries did
Mm.
I understand. Because similar to you, like I just want people to like me. I know without a doubt that I am a great person.
Mhm.
Like nobody could tell me that I'm not. And I
Mm.
don't think anybody who knows me would even be able to say that.
Right.
So for me, it's like, I just want you to like me. But in that, I feel like if I get a text, like I try to respond right away because I know how busy
Mm.
life is. And,
Mhm.
it'll be 2, 3 days. I'm so bad at
Yes.
checking like DMs on social media. Like, oh God, if you want to reach me, you better text it to me because I'm liable to
Right.
see that. I don't even know how, when I open social media, I'm like, Trey, how do I get to, I need help. Finding where these things are, where they live.
Mm.
But and that was how I responded to people. So once I started setting
Mm.
boundaries and stopped being a people pleaser, I understood that if I send a message and you don't get back to me for 2 weeks, that you either were busy, weren't in the mental state, something
Mhm.
bigger, more important was going on, and I can let that go, right?
Right.
Because I used to hold people accountable for that.
Right.
And it wasn't a them thing, that was
Mhm.
strictly a Danielle. So that's how it showed up
Yeah.
for me.
That's a good one. But you're speaking to something so poignant right now, and not realizing maybe even until our adulthood that how anxious we might be, or how things just kind of creeping in like that, where it's like,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, I really need to know what's going on, and if you're
Yep.
not letting me know, I'm getting pissed off.
And
But I really
it's
don't
so
mean to
funny,
be.
that's right. I feel like anger is just like the natural reaction. Like it feels safe.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's, I can protect myself if I'm angry because
Mhm.
I wish it would,
Right.
It's
Right.
it's that dog that comes out.
That dog want that dog want to come out. And then you're like,
Yeah.
"But I love this girl. Like, what is going on?" It's like, "Yeah, it's me.
Right.
It
I
it
mean, I
is
know their
me."
heart. I know this and
Mhm.
mhm,
But that's
a lot of
also old friendship wounds. You get hurt early on, and then you're like, "Dang, can I really trust
right. Right?
you?" So I got a little that makes me think of another question.
Okay.
What did your early friendships teach you about trust, loyalty, and belonging?
Mhm.
Woo,
Since we
y'all,
started my
Danielle got some
engine.
stories. Danielle got some stories.
I have so many stories. So for me, and again, it's not, I told you, like we get into the spiritual, the this, the that, all the
Mhm.
jokes about being an Aries and don't piss them off and
Mhm.
whatever, all that fun stuff. I am honest to a fault.
Mhm. Same.
Y- Your word, my word, words are like good as gold. They are
Yeah.
bond, and I just don't tolerate lying. I
Mhm.
cannot. Um but I also trust very easily. I like to believe
Mhm.
that people are good people until they show me otherwise, which, again, at any point, I have no problem cutting you off forever.
Right.
That'll be the last time you ever hear from me. So
Right.
I say all that to say that, like, previous friendships, like I've seen them, and when they're not serving me,
Mhm.
I know what that looks like because if I can't trust you, I have no reason to be loyal to you. I don't owe
Yeah.
you my loyalty.
Yeah.
And if I can't trust you, then I don't belong with you, right? Like you're
Mm.
not my people because if I wanted
Mhm.
to be around untrustworthy people, that's where I would be. So for me, it is very, very important. And for people who have lied or who have showed me things um, like that, I mean, one story that comes to mind right now is like a childhood friend. We went to elementary school together. We reconnected, and she started saying some things. Uh,
Mm.
She was talking about witches and ghosts and all this stuff. And then she started posting on Facebook, and it was getting real crazy. And she's like
Mm.
tagging me and tagging my kids.
Mm.
And I'm just like, okay, listen, this worked then. We had a lot in common, and it was all fine and dandy. We reconnected.
Mhm.
It was going good for a couple weeks. but this ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
And it was just that. It was like, no, we're done. Like you made me feel uncomfortable. You brought my kids into this. I don't trust you. I
Oof.
don't even know what you're talking about.
Right.
And I hold a safe space for like mental illness because I really do
Mhm.
believe like something bigger was going on.
Mhm.
But when it comes to friendships, it's just like I try very hard. They mean a lot to me. And just because we had something then doesn't mean we need to have it now. And because of that bridge, now I'm looking at other relationships differently because if you're not serving me, you gotta go.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
must.
Oof.
But
Yeah.
mm,
Ooh.
Julie.
Well, I think for me, um again, I think I was internally hurt more often than anybody understood because y'all probably saw me just like, well, okay, F them. I'm not, or
Mhm.
like, this is why I came out of my adolescence with three good friends because I'm just like, I don't trust anybody. First of all, I'm coming into this not trusting none of y'all. Second of
Mhm.
all, the people, I mean, it worked for as long as it needed to work because a lot of people then fell off
Oh
you know
yeah.
but you know what, to be quite candid, I think for me what I noticed with a lot of my friends, you, Courtney, Misha, maybe even Lauren too, I'm like, ooh, y'all friends with a whole lot of people, and my discernment was developed early, and I'm just like, I don't trust none of the people y'all cool with, and then I'm kind of like, really, yeah, I gotta question some of y'all's decisions now. It made me question my loyalty to y'all in that, like, oh, am I gonna have to protect myself and not be friends with my core friends because of the people that they had around them? And
Mhm.
so sometimes, I'm sure there was experiences of distance, and that's me being like, she ain't figured out how this moving yet, and I didn't already figured it out.
Right.
And so let me go ahead on and slide because I cannot get involved with that. And so I think at times I just had to eat that. Like, man, I really want. There are times where I'm just dealing with people around. I'm like, I don't really like this person, but I want the people I want to like me. So here
Mhm.
I am. I'm just in the fray, and I think that spun me out more than I understood. I get it now, but
Right.
like teenager, early 20s, it's like, I don't what? Why are we doing this? I don't understand. So I think for me it was a lot of that, like, again, internalizing. I'm like, I gotta watch and I gotta witness. I don't know if I was ever in a place to have real conversations about it at that time. Because
Right.
I'm thinking about one person that you were connected to, and she was a fellow teen mom. And I'm not even going to give the universe the satisfaction of me putting too much energy on it, but I just know
Mhm.
I'm like, wow, this is not Danielle, but this person's energy is
Yeah.
transformative, and it's not in a good way. And so I'm like, all right, I got to back up because
And you know
I
what? It's
go
I
ahead.
am so sorry to interject, but I'm gonna stop you right there because I know without a doubt that we are doing the work that we're supposed to do right now. Like
Mhm.
we are walking so clearly in our purpose that I
Mhm.
cannot ignore it. One, cleaning out the attic yesterday,
Mm.
found a picture. How
Mm.
random is that, right? Okay,
Wow.
so we'll leave that there. But two, and I should have used this as an example. I'm
Mhm.
so glad you brought it up in the previous question or when I was giving my response because I use that as like a gauge to this day. I
Mm.
know when a friendship starts to feel too much like that, that
Mhm.
it's making me uncomfortable, that I can't
Mhm.
live in that space again. I
Mhm.
I have no desire to be needed or wanted that much.
Yeah.
In friendship. I just
Yeah.
don't. And that makes me appreciate, the friends that I do have that have stuck around that much more. And not to say that, people like that can't be in my life. It's just that that term friendship, and Trey and I were talking about this
Mhm.
yesterday, is very near and dear to my heart. Like I
Mhm.
hold that close. And so like you can be an acquaintance. You can be somebody that I know, But to truly say that we are friends, um, yeah, that's difficult.
Yeah.
It is
Right.
because,
Cause
look
child,
at
that was
you.
see, that's that well-developed discernment. Cause I'm like, because
Hmm.
that thing that I mean, it was so significant. I mean, that person could have almost damaged our friendship had I
Yeah,
not
yeah,
really
I believe it.
taken some space and at the
Hmm.
time communicated to the partners we were with and getting that male perspective, like, don't let this person disrupt what you got going on. It's not gonna be like that. And so,
Yeah.
and funnily enough, I mean, me and you are always gonna spring back together. That's never going to be a thing.
Hmm.
But for me at the time, I'm like, I just have to take the space because I can't. This person about to make me catch a case, and so
Yeah. Yep.
let me back on out until Danielle figures out. Because again, like you said, like how near and dear friendship is to you, and then and your loyalty runs long, not only deep but
Yeah.
long. And that
Yeah.
joker, I'm like, girl, my loyalty. I wanted to
Hmm.
rein it in for you, like, please, Danielle, please, please, please.
Goodness,
But
if we was name dropping right now, we could have such a deeper
yeah,
conversation. So sorry that we're kind of speaking in
yeah,
code here, but no, yes, that's exactly it. And what's crazy is like when you think about just life and where you're at and what serves you in that season,
mm-hmm.
that, we had, me and this individual, we had so much in common. And I'm using
Right,
my air quotes because it felt like this is normal because we're on the same boat.
right,
And my core friends, the core four, me,
mm-hmm,
you, Makila, Lauren, like
mm-hmm.
that group, you guys were there and you supported me, but you weren't in my shoes
Yes,
necessarily. And
yes,
so I was looking for that relationship,
yes.
which, I mean, it's not, you know,
Yeah, and
there,
that's exactly
yeah,
why I just took
yeah.
my distance, because I'm not
Hmm.
a mother yet. I can't understand what you're needing, but I'm understanding that this they have a connection that she and I don't have. Something else that pissed me off.
Yeah.
Irrationally. I'm like, me and Danielle are doing
My
everything
friend.
together, and then here this joker come. But but
Right.
but and
Trying to do
this is
everything with us.
right. Oh my god, no girl. I'm like, I just got to back up. I can't do it. I can't do it. I don't trust people, and I am not loyal. So I'm loyal to myself first. And I had to really enact that. But it did teach me to lean on my discernment and really be okay with, okay, if you dealing with somebody and I don't like their energy, I might drop some here and there, but if you keep going on, I'm gonna just take the distance, but I don't hold it against our friendship. It's
Right.
not going to be held against our friendship. You just you moving how you move. Okay, cool. My girlfriends and I were talking about that before. Like, what do you do when a friend is doing something and you want to, try to give them some game and tell them, like, girl, this is really a really bad decision. And I was like, I let people do what they do. I'm not going to advise you. I mean, if you come to me, I'm going to give you the real deal. Otherwise, I'm gonna let you do what you do without the weight of you're gonna lose me forever. It depending on who you are. There are some
Yeah.
people in my life that you could go do the craziest thing in the world. Okay, and when you're done doing that, you come on back. I'm not following you off that bridge. But I will
Right.
surely stay on this side just in case you turn around and you say, I think I want to come back. I'm over here. Here I am. So for me, I'll let you gonna walk the plank. Go ahead on, girl. You know how to swim, right? All right, well then. Let me know when you want me to cast that net and I got you. But for me, I
Right.
just have to take my space from that. But I learned that it is okay to do that and still have deeply beautiful connections with people. It's okay that it's not active all the time. And that doesn't mean
Hmm.
that this person doesn't like me. It means you are an individual human having an individual experience. And I have to be okay with that. That has nothing to do with my value as your friend. And I have to be okay with that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. Whew.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I know. Look, we get into conversation and it
I'm
just kind of
just
starts
woo.
flowing. Um, so here's another one.
Okay.
Do you find yourself expecting friends to show up in ways that are more about making up for old hurts
Mm.
than about what's happening now?
No, I don't, and I think that just speaks to what I just said, right? Like, I have learned, and that is the beauty of making friendships over 30. And I have so many clients that are struggling with friendships right now because it's the wild wild west out here. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
dating is terrible, friendships are terrible because everybody's in a transactional sleeper cell mode. Right? What can you do for me? What can I take from you? And so I'm dealing with a lot of that with clients and women who are like, I just want someone to see me for me, and maybe you just see me for who I can get, who I know to get us in a club or something. And I'm trying to tell them, like, honestly, the times are hard, and wait a little longer. Like, that's information. You just
Hmm.
don't need to be around these people. But for me, I don't hold on to that. I don't really have too many old hurts that creep into friendship. I am so intentional about the women in my life that this will never happen. This will never happen. I will never have to show up with old hurts because I know you can't hurt me. I chose you because I know you're not going to hurt me because I'm not going to allow that energy in my life. You would go
Yeah.
away before I even thought about it. So, no, it's not going to show up. And I have a deep intention that it might just be that, okay, so let's take some space. People who haven't needed to be in my life, they are gone. They really are
Yeah.
gone. Good and gone.
Yeah.
Can't remember their names, child. So
Exactly. And I think that's what I was going to speak to because I'm not looking for anybody new coming in to fill a void, to heal a hurt.
right.
That if you did that to me, I'm going to take it on the chin. That is a lesson learned.
Mhm.
Let me tell you something. Nobody will ever do that
Mhm.
to me again. So there's no need for you to come in and fill a hurt because I've already accepted that what happened, I allowed to happen.
Right. That part.
And I mean, yeah, it happened. It
Yes.
is what it is. And as much as I, hate that phrase, I love it because I'm not going to look back and I'm not going to hold
Mhm.
anybody to something unreasonable, especially when a third individual wouldn't even know the depths of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Yep.
basically, like you're trying to heal a hurt that you didn't create, don't understand. You can only have my side of the story. You can't
Right.
even get the other. It's like my story, your story, the truth, whatever.
right.
But no, it just wouldn't happen. Like you're so far cut out my life that like what I'm looking
Yes.
for is is goodness. And I
Yeah.
know what that looks like. And if I
Yes.
don't see that on you immediately,
Mhm. That
well
part.
then you never had a chance to be in my life
Anyway,
anyway. So
you
that was
never stood a
easy,
chance.
I mean, not in the slightest.
Not
And there's friends out there for you, like you said. And it's
Yes.
not when we say be intentional, because you're talking about your clients and Friday night, Trey and I were talking about this again, just about making connections. And it's like finding the right people, right? Like, where do we
Mhm.
go to find who it is, you know, that we're looking for with connection? I
Mhm.
think we all desired. I think COVID set us back, especially for those of
Yes.
us who were like, I mean, I wasn't quite, but like really just like coming out of college, like getting started
Mhm.
early in the career and
Yep.
then being siloed. And now, that kind of strung to a bunch of people working from home. We
Mhm.
don't really go out. When you do go out, you need a reservation. It's not so much like
Mhm.
I can just swing around. And
Yeah.
it's that's hard because I see two crowds when we go out.
Mhm.
They're in their 20s and they're young. I am mid 30s, okay?
Okay.
I'm not trying to hang with y'all who just turned 21. I cannot.
Mm-mm.
Or they're like in their 50s. And you know what that tells me? They just got their kids off to college and they back
Yes.
out here living their life. And so, I'm looking for people like me in public settings to be
Yeah.
reassured that like I can still build that connection, but I also want it on like an individual level.
Right.
Like sometimes I'm like, okay, yeah, I have my mom friends, but like I don't want to talk about the kids tonight, you
Okay.
know?
That part.
But at the same time, it's just like, where are the people like us at doing the family things? We got to get to
Uh-huh.
Chuck E. Cheese, Dave and Buster's. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like we got to go to
Right.
the Children's Museum. If
Drinking
we
at the
want to
house.
see, right, if we want to see people like us, they're doing the things
Yeah.
that we're doing. And unfortunately, all that other stuff out there, that's not for me. I don't need a
Right.
bunch of old friends. I don't want a bunch of young friends,
Right.
but where do you find them? You kind of got to start where you're at. Um,
Yeah. And you know what
so
else? I've been reflecting on this too. Rob and I talking about this. Even when your core friendships are good and solid, just the requirement of life to grow is to find people who are moving where you're moving. So,
yes.
knowing what you want to do in your career and whatever endeavors you have, if it's spiritual growth, whatever that is, like finding your people in those spaces, because you only get so much from your core, and they know you for who they know you for, and it's like, okay, but there's this side of me that is so fresh and new and I'm trying to discover, and the people I love the most might not even be on that wavelength, and
Hmm.
so I need to find that as well. So I think is again leading and filtering from yourself, like who are you, and
Yeah.
then go find that out in the
Hmm.
world, right? It's like, okay, if you're into business or you're into this or that, you got to network, you got to do different things. Like, this is me talking to clients, right? Like, go network or sign up for the breathwork thing. You might meet somebody there. If you're into breathwork,
Right.
if you're into astrology, like e group or whatever, what is it called? Eventbrite. They have so many free events and different things. It's like, go do something out of your box. Speaking to your point of how siloed we became, people are so fearful of just doing something on
Yeah.
their own. You don't need friends to go make new friends. You kind of really
Right.
don't. Like, and the
It's
friends you
almost
have,
easier if you don't.
if you don't, because the ones you have not on that same wavelength as you, they might, their energy might block you from something that you really need, that you were only going to find when you were on your own.
Yeah. And I can only hope that this conversation touches other individuals, not even women,
Yeah.
not mothers, but other individuals, because that's so accurate. And I think from you and I, just
Mm-hmm.
knowing, like,
Yeah.
okay, well, if you want to be my friend, guess what? I'm going to have to approve that.
Yeah.
I know you would like to think that you befriended me. However, I've got to review the application, what
Right.
have you. I've really only got so many slots right
Right.
now. They're full. Maybe you can
Got a
sit on
wait
the wait
list.
list. Right.
Yeah.
Like we're very much that way, and I'm just so grateful for the growth that I
Yeah.
can say, like, no, my core will always be my core, but I've made space to go
Yes.
out and grow in other ways, and like you said, meet people who are, where I want to be, where I'm
Yes.
going, who
Yes.
can go on the journey and travel with me down these roads
Yeah.
that, my friends, who my core four, who are in different states, are living their
Yes.
own lives, can't take with me right now.
Yeah.
And I think, this goes right into the last question,
Mhm.
but like, as moms,
Mhm.
how do we navigate friendships when life, it already feels so full?
Yes.
And that, I
Yes.
think that's what we just spoke to. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. Putting yourself first. Like, yes, you
yeah.
are a mother, and this is even more reason to put yourself in the front line, like prioritize yourself number one, right? Peel off your mom hat and figure out who you are right now on this day, and the type of relationships you want to build, and
Hmm.
then start shifting your energy there, and it'll develop for you. The only way it'll develop, though, is if you take the action to put yourself first. And because yes, life is full, and you are still an individual, you are still a human being. I know it's challenging, and you just don't have a babysitter, or your family and everything. Yes, and we have a
Right.
lot at our fingertips that would allow for us to continue to grow. So if you want to choose to not grow, then that's fine. But if you
That's on
want to
you.
grow, right, if you want to make that choice to grow and find your people, keep at it. But by keeping at it, I mean put yourself first.
Yeah. I mean, because if we know anything as mothers, and maybe I don't want to speak for everybody, but
Yeah.
if you align, then I'm
Mhm.
speaking for us. We are resourceful. You
Yes.
can't tell me, if there's a will, there's a way.
Okay.
So if you want to put yourself first, you will. And that might be
Yeah.
the first hurdle to get over. But
Mhm.
the babysitter, all those ancillary details,
Right.
that's not what's stopping you.
Mm-mm.
You know, it's just not because we make magic happen day in and day out
Mhm.
as mothers.
Yes.
So, I'm just gonna
Absolutely.
leave that there. If it
That's a
stung a
good
little bit,
one.
I'm sorry, but
Right. If it hurts, say ouch.
right, I was
That's
on that boat at
okay.
some point
Mhm.
too, but I
Yes.
chose to get off,
Absolutely.
and and you can too.
That part.
So,
That's right.
mm. All right. So
All
here's what I'm
right.
taking away.
Okay.
I what I'm hearing in
Uh-huh.
this conversation,
Yes.
okay, is that friendships require the same awareness and honesty as any other relationship.
That's it. That's it. That's all. And if we don't take time to reflect, we'll carry old wounds into new friendships without even realizing it. And reflect means reflect on yourself, not what someone has done to you, but what you've engaged in and what has served you and what has not.
Yes. And so here's our invitation for you this week.
Hmm.
What we want you to do, just notice the stories you tell yourself when you feel hurt or let down in a friendship.
Mm.
Ask yourself, is this about what's happening now, or is this about something from the past that's still tender?
Mm.
And I mean, if you're feeling froggy, go, you might as well start the work and
Okay.
and iron
Right.
those details out.
Right.
It could only help, right?
Yes. And that one little pause can shift everything. And I like that word tender, right? Because it means if something's coming up that's old, then that's a younger version of you. And so be tender with yourself when you're working on your healing. And don't get disillusioned by who was involved. See yourself as the young person you were and where you need to go.
Yes. And so, with that, I just want to say thank you so much for joining us for this episode of For the Mamas Collective. We truly do hope that you came as you were, you took
Mhm.
what you needed.
Mhm. That's right. And y'all know what I'm about to say. If this conversation resonated, go ahead on and do all the social media things. Share it, like it, subscribe it, do it, comment,
Mhm.
do it all, please.
Yes. And we love hearing from you. So do
Mhm.
join us in the comments. Y'all about to get
Mhm.
tired of us because
Okay.
you're gonna see us coming everywhere. Okay.
Everywhere.
We're building a community here, and we can't do that if y'all don't participate. And I've seen
Yes.
all these people out here with all these high numbers, and you support the same people. Help a sister out.
Okay.
Help some sisters
Help
out.
some sisters out. Come on now, somebody. And we talking about
Yes.
friendships. Don't be shy now. Go ahead
Don't
on.
be. I mean, share your takeaways. I actually had a
Yeah.
girlfriend tell me, she's like, so much of what you guys talk about, I resonate with, but because there's no comments, I don't want to be the first one to say something.
Oh, baby, be
And
the
if that's how we,
first.
right, that's what I said. But if that's how we all feel,
Yeah.
maybe I'll just start stepping out there. I mean, I feel like I lay it
Okay.
all out in here. I think you do
Right.
too. But I can lay some more out. Again, my
Okay.
stories are deep. They are deep. So,
Air this
you know,
thing out on the internet.
yeah, we're gonna keep showing up for y'all, and
For sure.
one day y'all gonna show up for us.
Yeah. I'm going to charge it to your head and not your heart. Oh,
Oh,
Lord. Okay. All right.
yes,
Well, that's it. That's all we got for y'all. Until next
that's it.
time, take care of yourselves and each other.
Bye.
Bye.